Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Liz of Chicago Law Luxury Makeup. For today's video, we're going to be comparing two foundations. I'm going to be comparing my all-time favorite Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate foundation up against the Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue foundation. Now, these two foundations are, on paper, very, very similar. They have a lot of the same ingredients. I'm going to post a photo of the ingredients side by side up for you guys. They are very, very, very similar. So I was told by one of my subscribers that they were basically the same foundation. And you guys know how much I love the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate. It is my holy grail. It is my favorite foundation, hands down. So I wanted to see, is it possible that these two are the same foundation? I'm sure they're not the same exactly. I'm sure there are some differences. The Tom Ford has an SPF of 50. The Estee Lauder has an SPF of 45. So right off the bat, you know that they're not the same. With the ingredient list being so similar, and Estee Lauder owning Tom Ford, I thought, well, let's see how they look side by side. Is the Tom Ford price worth it? So the Tom Ford retails for $150. The Estee Lauder retails for $50. Now, I did get my Estee Lauder foundation for $25. I got mine at Ulta. They had one of their like 21 Days of Beauty or something. And so this foundation for one day only was 50% off. So I got mine for $25. That is a huge price difference. I mean, huge. So I want to see side by side on my face. I'm going to do a wear test throughout the day, see how it wears, and report back. But I just really want to know, how similar are these two foundations? I am almost out of my Tom Ford. So do I need to go out and repurchase it if I have the Estee Lauder and the Estee Lauder is so much more affordable? I'm going to start with a swatch test. So I'm going to swatch both of them on my arm. I'll start with the Estee Lauder. Now these may be different shades. The Estee Lauder is a neutral shade. The Tom Ford I do have in a cool. So shade, they're not going to be similar, but I thought I would see consistency wise. So the Tom Ford right off the bat is a lot thinner and more runny. The Tom Ford seems to give me more coverage. But again, these are arm swatch. I'm not applying them on the face yet. But just right off the bat, just right there, the Tom Ford appears to be give me more coverage. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I will do my right side of the face with the Estee Lauder, and then my left side I'll go in with the Tom Ford. We'll see how it looks right off the bat. I'll go ahead and finish my makeup off camera. I'll come back and show you how the foundation looks after all my makeup is applied, and then I will do a few check-ins throughout the day. So again, we're going to start with the Estee Lauder. For shade reference, I have 2 in 1 Desert Beige. The in does signify neutral. So this one actually, I guess, is a little bit runnier than I thought. I'm going to use a BK Beauty 101 to apply both. I do have my skincare on, and I have set my face with primer. For primer today, I used the Sicily Double Tensure. They do have a different scent. The fragrance of the foundation of the Estee Lauder is different than the Tom Ford. So, I mean, they're definitely not the same foundation, but are they close enough where I don't need to spend the $150 for the Tom Ford? So this is just one pump. Again, the Estee Lauder is a beautiful foundation. I did review this. I will link that up in the cards for you guys if you haven't watched that review yet. It is a beautiful foundation. All right, I'm going to wipe my brush off, and then we'll go in with the Tom Ford. For shade preference for the Tom Ford, this is 4.7 Cool Beige. The Tom Ford scent is definitely stronger. The Tom Ford does still appear to be thinner in consistency. However, I do find that the Tom Ford coverage is really, really good, even though the consistency of the foundation itself is pretty thin. It is very, in my opinion, medium to full coverage. All right, so here is the foundation as it is applied right now. My right side is the Estee Lauder, my left side is the Tom Ford. Let me know if you can see any huge differences other than maybe shade. And actually, I do think the shades are pretty similar once applied. I don't really see much of a difference. I am going to get out my magnifying mirror. I'm going to look super close and see if I can see any huge differences just right off the bat. I don't really notice anything glaring. So I'm going to be real curious to see how they wear throughout the day. Does one wear better than the other? Here is my face after all my makeup has been applied. It is now 3:09 p.m. I will come back on after about 4 hours. We'll do a check-in, and then I'll come back in about 7 hours later and we'll do the final check-in to see how it is worn throughout the day. But so far, first impression, I can't tell the difference. I really, really can't. I think that both sides look equally well. When I looked into the magnifying mirror, I didn't notice any significant differences between the sides of my face. If I had to be extremely nitpicky and I had to find something, I would say that the Tom Ford side gives me just a little bit more coverage. Now, I do prefer more coverage, so that is something that appeals to me. However, I don't know that it's worth $100 price difference. Just saying. So that is my initial first impression, but like I said, we're going to see how this wears throughout the day. I have a couple errands to run, so I'm going to be out and about and doing stuff. But like I said, I'll come back for a check-in and show you guys how it is wearing. I am back with my first check-in. It's about 7:20 in the evening, so the makeup has been on for about 4 hours. Again, on my right side is the Estee Lauder, and on my left side is the Tom Ford. I think both sides look really, really good still. However, I do think that the Tom Ford side looks better. The makeup seems to have stayed on my face just a little bit more than the Estee Lauder side. On the Estee Lauder side, the blush has kind of worn off a little bit, so it just doesn't look quite as good. I would also say that on my chin, it is equally kind of coming off. But overall, I do think at the 4-hour mark, my face does still look really, really good. But I can just see like right here on the side with the Estee Lauder that the blush has come off just a little bit, and it still looks really good on the side with the Tom Ford. So that is why I'm saying that the Tom Ford seems to be wearing a little bit better, but I do think that both sides look pretty good at this point. So I'm going to keep the makeup on for probably about another 3 hours, and then I will wash my face. I will come and do a check-in before I do that, so that we can see how the foundations have worn and if there's a difference, and kind of give you my final thoughts. I am back for my final check-in. It's about 10:30, so we're roughly 7 hours after I applied this foundation. On my right side is the Estee Lauder. On my left side is the Tom Ford. I do see a noticeable difference between the two sides. The side that I put the Estee Lauder on has worn off much more than the side with the Tom Ford. So that said, I do think that there is a difference. They are similar. They are definitely not the same. So I think it's just a matter of personal preference and what you're comfortable paying. The Estee Lauder is $50. It is a beautiful foundation. I absolutely love it. I thought that upon initial application, it was gorgeous. It did wear off a lot quicker than the Tom Ford. The Tom Ford, however, is $150. So you have to kind of weigh your options. I still do prefer the Tom Ford. It is my holy grail foundation, and it is my holy grail foundation for a reason. It lasts all day. I absolutely love it. Is that to say that I wouldn't wear the Estee Lauder or I wouldn't repurchase the Estee Lauder? No, I really, really do like the Estee Lauder, and I think that it would be a good dupe for the Tom Ford. I think if you can't get your hands on the Tom Ford, I think that the Estee Lauder is a really, really good alternative. Now, I have seen several other videos of people comparing the two, and a lot of people actually prefer the Estee Lauder. I prefer the Tom Ford. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. I really enjoy them both. But again, I would say that the Estee Lauder is a good dupe for the Tom Ford. Well, let me know down below what you guys think. Do you see a noticeable difference in my face after 7 hours? Let me know what you guys think. I would love to hear from you. I hope this video was helpful. I know it was helpful for me because I really was curious to see the two products side by side. I would also love to hear from you guys if there's any other comparisons that you would like to see in this format. I'd be happy to do those as well. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope everyone is staying safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video.